Hey everyone, this is Peter Holdman with another 4 Edit Friday. Today we're going to take a look at this picture and do 4 edits of it in Capture One, see what we can come up with. So, before we started, I did a little bit of repair up in the sky because there's a bunch of sensor junk up here, so that if we look at the layers, you'll see there's one in there already. So just for clarity there. So this is the base image. I think on something like this, we're going to do a fair amount of highlight recovery, probably all the way. Maybe bring the exposure down a little bit and to get even a little bit more, and then bring the shadows back up. Bring some clarity in, not that much. Let's try natural. Yeah, maybe we'll go with the punch. If you're not familiar, punch clarity adds a little bit of additional saturation. Bring the black point up by a couple of points. Maybe bring the white point in a little bit, but we're trying to recover highlights, not blow them out. Normally on here, about 500 for sharpening seems to work pretty well for most of my exports. So I think that will do for that. Let's bring a little more saturation in. Maybe a little more contrast. I think that works pretty well as a good basic edit. Let's grab another. We'll clone a variant on my Wacom tablet here. I've got it mapped so that one of my hotkeys is just clone variant. So this one, I'm going to go for kind of what I did with the original edit I did of this picture, which is kind of go a little nuts with the saturation, add a bunch more clarity to it. It's probably, it's not really going for a natural, little bit of kind of over the top look, so I think we're good there. I think with this one we can warm it up a little bit. The picture was shot right around dawn, so I think we were still getting blue hour light, not getting into that golden hour. Okay, I think this one looks all right for being kind of over the top. Let's see, do I want to do anything more with this? I think we might go into the color editor, hit this blue, let's expand out the selection a little bit, see where all we're hitting. Bring up the saturation specifically in that blue, then maybe grab these greens and bring the saturation down a little bit in there. I tend to find that the greens in general tend to easily oversaturate, so especially anytime I'm playing with the saturation overall, I might consider doing that with the greens. I've seen some cameras that I do that almost automatically on. So I think that looks pretty decent for an over-the-top color edit. I'm going to go in and do a black and white edit, which from the looks of it was what I had originally planned this image to be. So let's just throw basic black and white on here. I think I want the water to darken out, so we'll use the luminance sliders here to bring that down. Maybe bring the overall. Go kind of nuts with clarity on black and whites. That gives it this a little more interesting texture through some of those areas. Having done that, I think I'm going to undo my exposure adjustment there. Bring a little bit of contrast in. Let's go back and look at my black and white tool. Either light or darken that. I think I'm going to go with darkening the trees, which kind of highlights this band through here as well as the lighter parts of the sky and water. Let's see if we want to go maybe even a little bit darker in the blues there. I think that looks pretty workable. Then this last one, I had an idea for this that is kind of outside of what I would normally do with an edit, but let's try it and see what we come up with. So I'm going to go and reduce my clarity. Even bring that a little more shadow recovery in. Basically what I want to do is create a kind of dreamy, misty effect. So we're going to create a new adjustment layer. Call that guy clarity. Then we're going to take the clarity, go way down with it. I'm going to brush in a mask up at the top here. Kind of follow some of the contours that exist in the picture that give us kind of a foreground background. Kind of follow the contour there, the edge of the cliff. So that should be a pretty soft focus effect once that comes in. And I think I'm actually going to use my eraser here to feather that a little bit. Opacity, flow, and hardness on the eraser are all way down, so it'll feather it more. We'll kind of feather this, maybe a little bit more. Give that a second to catch up. See what we come up with. Alright, so that really lightens this out. Kind of soft focus it. We'll leave the saturation up. We'll bring the contrast down. So do we want to darken that a little bit, maybe? Or maybe we go the other way and lighten it. Yeah, let's lighten it up like that, and then I'm going to go into my in the wrong tool palette here. Go into my levels tool and maybe bring my black point up a little bit so that we retain some depth in the couple of these shadow areas. So probably not an effect I'd use all that much, but I thought it looked kind of interesting on this image. What do you guys think? Here's our original. Here's the Let's Go Wild with the Colors version of it. Here's a black and white, fairly high contrast. And here's our dreamy pastel scape. Let me know what you think in the comments, if there are any that you prefer, if they're how you would edit it. If you found this valuable, there are more videos in this series, and I'd really appreciate a like and maybe a subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media. I'll include the links in the descriptions to see some more of my work. Thanks, and have a great one.